Okay. It's good if you use your little finger and you use your fingers, that's brilliant. That's what I try and do as well, but it's hard. It's just straight. It's straight.
Yeah, you know, but sometimes we miss. But
You don't know how you want. You do it like that if you want.
My greetings, access knowledge Fundamentalist Academy. Took about 5 minutes getting 4 minutes, 20 seconds getting ready. Sorry about that. Well, page 33. Today's scientists will tell you that in the hour of your greatest anguish, there is no point in crying out to the heavens with any expression of your deepest, most heartfelt feelings. because you'll find no evidence there. The stars can show you only indifference. Humans grow up, to mature, to learn, to come to terms with this indifference. The universe that this book describes is different because it was made with humankind in mind. In this history, the universe is anthropocentric. Russ, do you know what anthropocentric means?
No.
It means it's centered around man. Anthro means man. Centric means center. So anthropocentric means it centers around man. Alright? In this universe is anthropocentric. Every single part of it straining directed towards humankind. This universe has nurtured us through the millennia, cradled us, helped the unique thing that is human consciousness to evolve and guided each of us as individuals towards the great moments in our lives. When you cry out, the universe turns towards you in sympathy. When you approach one of life's great crossroads, the whole universe holds its breath to see which way you will choose. Scientists may talk of the mystery and wonder of the universe, of every single particle in it being controlled to every other particle by the pull of gravity. They may point out amazing facts such as in every one of us millions of atoms that were once in the body of Julius Caesar, in their slightly disappointing sense that the atoms we are made of were forged from hydrogen in stars that exploded long before our solar system was formed. Because the important point is this: whether they take it out with a measure, that is the universe blind force. In the scientific universe, matter came before mind. Mind is an accident of matter, essential and extraneous to matter, as one scientist went so far as to describe it, a disease of matter. On the other hand, in the mind before matter universe that this book describes, the connection between mind and matter is much more intimate. It is a living, dynamic connection. Everything in this universe is alive and conscious to some degree, responding sensitively and intelligently to our deepest and subtlest needs. In this mind before the universe, not only did matter emerge from the mind of God, but it was created in order to provide the conditions in which the human mind would be possible. Moreover, the human mind is still the focus of the cosmos, nurturing it and responding to its needs. Matter is therefore moved by human mind, perhaps not to the same extent, but in the same kind of way that is moved by the mind of God. You got any questions, Ras?
No, no, yeah.
Yeah. 1935, the Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger formulated his famous theoretical experiment, Schrödinger's cat, to describe how events change when they are observed. In effect, he was taking secret society's teachings about everyday experience and applying them to the subatomic realm. At some point in childhood, we all wonder whether a tree falling really makes any sound. If it takes place in a remote forest where no one is there to hear it, should we say a sound not heard by anyone can't probably be described as a sound? The secret society's teaches something like this speculation is true. According to them, a tree only falls over in a forest, however remote, so that someone somewhere at some time is affected by it. Nothing happens anywhere in the cosmos except in interaction with the human mind. In Schrödinger's experiment, a cat sits in a box with radioactive material that has a 50% chance of killing the cat. Both the cat's being dead and its being alive remain 50% probabilities, suspended in time, as it were, until we open the box to see what's inside. And only then does the actual event, the death or survival of the cat, happen. By looking at the cat, we kill or save it. The secret societies have always held that the everyday world behaves in a similar way. In the universe of the secret societies, a coin flipped many times in strict laboratory conditions will still land heads up in 50% of cases, and tails up in 50% of cases, according to the laws of probability. However, these laws will remain invariable only in laboratory conditions. In other words, the laws of probability only apply when all human subjectivity has been deliberately excluded. In the normal run of things, where human happiness and hopes for self-fulfillment depend on the outcome of the roll of the dice, then the laws of probability are bent. The deeper laws come into play. These days, we are all comfortable with the fact that our emotional states affect our bodies, and further, that deep-seated emotions can cause long-term deep-seated changes, either to heal or to harm psychosomatic effects. But in the universe that this book describes, our emotional states directly affect matter outside our bodies too. In this psychosomatic universe, the behavior of physical objects in space is directly affected by mental states without having to do anything about it. We can move matter by the way we look at it. In chronicle let's have a little. In Chronicles Volume 1, Bob Dylan's recently published memoirs, he writes about what has to happen for an individual is to change the times in which he or she lives. To do this, you've got to have power and dominion over spirits. I had done it once, he writes, that such individuals are able to see into the heart of things, the truth of things, not metaphorically either, but really see, like seeing into mental and making it melt. See it for what it is, with hard words and vicious insight. Note that he emphasizes he is not talking metaphorically, quite literally, about wisdom preserved in the secret societies, a wisdom in which the great artists, writers, and thinkers who have forged our culture are steeped. At the heart of this wisdom is the belief that the deepest springs of our mental life are also the deepest springs of the physical world. Because in the universe of the secret societies, all chemistry is psychochemistry, and the ways in which the physical content of the universe responds to the human psyche are described deeper and more powerful laws than the laws of material science. It is important to realize that by these deeper laws are meant more than the mere runs of luck that gamblers experience or accidents seeming to happen in sequences of three. No, by these laws, secret societies mean laws that weave themselves into the warp and web of each individual life at the most intimate level, as well as the great and complex patterns of providential order that have shaped the history of the world. The theory of this book is that events we usually explain in terms of politics, economics, or natural disaster can more probably be seen in terms of other, more spiritual patterns. And just remember that I haven't shared this on Facebook yet. I'm doing it. My account's been disabled. Why have you knocked down Facebook? Knocked down your account, intervals. Oh, I can only get on YouTube now.
You got new one?
I have to just wait for my account to come back. Alright, well, we're only on YouTube now. Right. We're logged up on our account.
Important information. That was some important.
Click on the right click.
That was some important information, you know?
What I was reading.
Yeah, what was it?
What I was reading was important. I haven't finished yet. Look, I only got page 36. All the upside down, like other way around thinking of the secrecies, all that is bizarre mind bending. It stems from the belief that mind preceded matter. We have almost no evidence to go on when we decide what we believe happened at the beginning of time. But the choice we make has massive implications for our understanding of the way the world works. If you believe that matter came before mind, you have to explain how a chance coming together of chemicals creates consciousness, which is difficult. If on the other hand you believe that matter is precipitated by a cosmic mind, you have the equally difficult problem of explaining how or provoking a working model. From the priests of the Egyptian temples to today's secret societies, from Pythagoras to Rudolf Steiner, the great Austrian initiate of the late 19th to early 20th century, this model has been conceived of as a series of thoughts emanating from the cosmic mind, pure mind to begin with. These thought emanations later became a sort of pro-matter energy that became increasingly dense, then became matter, so ethereal. Do you know what ethereal means?
No?
I think it means gas-like. Dictionary. Right, first we've got to write this down. That's a real. The first thing that I do, Ras, I write the word down in here. See, I've got all the words written down in here. I write the words down in this book first. So, F, real. Then we can close this book, put this book over here, and then we get this book. We write ethereal down here.
Ethereal?
Ethereal. Ethereal.
Spell it.
Ethereal. I'll show you, look.
Ethereal. my book here, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's the real. Here we go. Then what I do, I write the definition down in my book. It's a real one. Right. One. That's a real. Come on. One thought. Of connected with. Of connected with. Potato. Pertaining to. Do you know what pertaining means, Raph?
Pertaining.
Yeah, do you know what that means? I better study that as pertaining to. Pertaining to. The ether. So what I study ether. Ether is the word before. So. Ether. So we've got to study pertaining. Pertaining. Ether. Right, let's look up ether first. It's just above, so we might as well do that. The substance of which the substance of which, according to the ancients, according to the ancients, the heavenly bodies are composed the upper air. Higher regions of space. entertainment. Pertain, got it. To belong to.
What I mean?
Hmm?
What I mean?
To, I'm writing it down. I'll give you in a minute how. To be closely and necessarily associated with. I know how to spell this necessarily. Unnecessarily. Associated. To have natural connection with. Yeah. You can study that for a while if you want. You memorize it, really, get it in your mind. You got that concept in your mind? Yeah? Must be getting too big and powerful. They're shutting my account down. So Facebook will shut my account down. I must be getting too big and powerful.
Russ, yeah? You memorised it. You memorise it word for word, get your memory working. Your mind is for memorising, not thinking. Your mind's not for thinking, it's for memorising. Knowledge. That's knowledge, that is. It's also knowledge. Etymology explains it to the root of the word. The root. Goes back to Latin and teaches you the foundation of the English language. Good enough? Oh, look at it now. Right. Ethereal, of connected with pertaining to the ether. Now we need to know to belong to, be closely and necessarily associated with, to have a natural connection with. So pertaining to, belong to. So ethereal, or connected with, pertaining to the ether, pertaining to, belonging to the ether, belonging to the ether. So ether, substance of which, according to the ancients, the heavenly bodies are composed, the upper air, higher regions of space. So in the book, that's what he's talking about in The Mind Before Matter. He's talking about the ethereal. Do you see that, Russ?
Yeah.
So we can go back to the book now, can't we?
Yeah.
All right, I'm almost ready. Pure mind to begin with. These thought emanations later became a source of proto-matter energy that became increasingly dense, then became matter. So ethereal, that it was finer than gas. You see what I'm saying? Ethereal, that it was finer than gas, without particles of any kind. Eventually the emanations became gas, then liquid, and finally solids. Now this might have been a temperature. That's what I consider. This might be a temperature. What do you reckon, Russ? There's got to be a temperature going on here. But that's all I know. But anyway, Kevin Warwick is Professor of Cybernetics at Reading University and one of the world's leading creators of artificial intelligence, working in friendly rivalry with his contemporaries at MIT in the United States. He has made robots able to interact with their environment, learn and adjust their behavior accordingly. These robots exhibit a level of intelligence that matches that of the lower animals, such as bees. Within 5 years, he says robots will have achieved the level of intelligence of cats, and in 10 years they will be at least as intelligent as humans. He is also in the process of engineering a new generation of robotic computers. He expects to be able to design and manufacture other computers, each level generating the lesser level beneath. According to the cosmologists of the ancient world and the secret societies, emanations from the cosmic mind should be understood in the same way as working downwards in a hierarchy from the higher and more powerful and persuasive principles to the narrower and more particular each level, creating and directing the one below it. These emanations have also been thought of as in some sense personified, as being in some sense also intelligent. When I saw Kevin Warwick present his findings to his peers at the Royal Institute in 2001, he was criticised by some for suggesting that his robots were intelligent and so by implication conscious. But what is undeniably true is that these robots' brains grew in something like an organic way. They formed something very like personalities, interact with other robots, and make choices beyond anything that has been programmed into them. Kevin argued that while his robots might not have a consciousness with all the characteristics of human consciousness, neither do dogs. Dogs are conscious in a doggy way. And his robots, he said, are conscious in a robotic way. Of course, in some ways, such as the ability to make massive mathematical calculations instantly, robots display a consciousness that is superior to our own consciousness. We might think of consciousness of the emanations from the cosmic in similar terms. We might also be reminded of the Tibetan spiritual masters who are said to be able to form a type of thoughts called tu-pas. By intense concentration and visualization, these beings, we might call them thought beings, attain some sort of independent life and go off and do their master's bidding. Similarly, Paracelsus, the 16th century Swiss magus, wrote about what he called an aquasta, a being formed by the power of concentration, imagination, which may obtain a life of his or her own, and in special circumstances become visible, even tangible. At the lowest level of the hierarchy, according to the ancient and secret doctrine in all cultures, these emanations, these thought beings from the cosmic mind, interweave so tightly that they create the apparent of solid matter. Today, if you wanted to find language to describe this strange phenomenon, you might choose to look to quantum mechanics. But in the secret societies, the interweaving of invisible forces to create the appearance of the material world has always been conceived of. The appearance of the material world has always been conceived of as a net of light and color, or to use an alchemical term, the matrix. Are you right, Russ? Yeah.
Here say something another like the farmer, something another.
On the mic, right?
Called Acosta. Yeah, so the farmer something Acosta.
Pardon?
Acosta.
I'm not following what you're saying. You have to explain it again.
Yeah, when you say like the farm something named Acosta, like a farmer mine, something another like that. He said, but I say when you stop and go ask about Acosta, look if you see the word name Acosta, I remember
Topaz.
I mean helpless.
Topaz. I'll read it. We might think of the consciousness of the emanations from the cosmic mind in similar terms. We might also be reminded of the Tibetan spiritual masters who are said to be able to form a type of thoughts called tulpas. By intense concentration and visualization, these beings, we might call them thought beings, attain some sort of independent life and go off and do their master's bidding. Similarly, Paracelsus, the 16th century Swiss magus, wrote about what he called an aquasta.
Yeah, Acosta.
Aquasta, well, you want to study that?
Yeah.
Alright, let's study that then.
They found something called Acosta.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. They found called Acosta.
I don't know what it is, none of that. No idea.
It's not in my dictionary. Let's look in the encyclopedia. It's not in here. It's not in here. I can check my other more than one.
Encyclopedia.
It's not in that encyclopedia. I can check this.
Must be one.
I'll find out. No, it's not in there. It's not in there. It's not in any book.
Why they make up that word then? They make up that term then.
I'm saying. Maybe it's an insider's word. Right. Good. No.
Again, if you ask Siri on the phone, Siri might tell you.
I don't think anyone's going to know it. But actually, it's not in these books. It's nowhere. So, wrote about what an Aquesta, what he called an Aquesta, what he called Paracelsus. So it might be a scientific word. Swiss Magus wrote about what he called an Aquesta. A being formed by the power of concentrated imagination which may obtain a life of his or her own, and in special circumstances become visible and even tangible. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I guess he trying to explain it himself, but I still wonder why would that word not be in the dictionary. But maybe that's
there's medical dictionaries and scientific dictionaries as well. The medical dictionaries. There's words that aren't in the dictionaries.
and words that terms.
Yeah. I haven't got all the knowledge. It's only the language that I've got.
Okay.
At the lowest level of hierarchy, according to ancient and secret doctrine in all cultures, these emanations, these thought beings from the cosmic mind, interweave so tightly that they create the appearance of solid matter. Today, if you define language to describe this, you might choose to look to quantum mechanics. But in the secret societies, the interweaving of invisible forces to create the appearance of the material world has always been conceived of as a net of light and colour, or to use an alchemical term, the matrix. They shut down my Facebook account. So what? Your account has been disabled. Not getting too powerful. Someone made a complaint. Someone in authority shut down my account. Yeah. Shut down my Facebook account. Shut it down.
Who's working this one?
Yeah. No, I've only got YouTube. They haven't locked me out yet. Well, I've had enough of reading now. On page 40. I've got to get ready for my next part of the day.
Yeah.
I need to, how do I write? You say it, I need to go.
Need to go do your thing now.
I need to go and do my thing now, yeah. Alright. Let's start now.
Get your through alright.
Alright. You can come back at 7 if you want. Come back at 7. Alright. Between 7 and 10, yeah? Alright. One, two, one, two. Mic check, mic check, mic check.